Morning, everybody. Rusty from the Rusty Razor. Got another shave today, and today we're going to be using Williams shave. Yeah, there's another one in here. Yeah, I got a couple of these stored up. It's like they no longer make this stuff. Yeah, it's got that nice, it's kind of a citrus scent. Kind of reminds me of Dove soap. I got that right there. My grandfather's on my dad's side. Favorite soap. That's what he used all the time. And then we're going to be using the Gillette Wilkinson sword blades, which, to be honest, back in the day when my grandfather was shaving, I think there was only really Gillettes and Schick blades. That was kind of it. There might have been some other ones out there, but I don't remember any other than Gillette and Schick. So we're going to use the Wilkinson sword blades with my grandfather's star razor, the star of the show. All right, so, and I'm using his mug. This was my grandfather. I think he probably stole this from a cafe or something like that, because I think it's nothing more than a coffee mug. But it has that nice scent that goes with this. And this is a new edition. I got this a couple years ago, just for purpose, because this is pretty deep to get in here and pretty narrow. So I'm going to have to basically scrub the face to get this on. It's a boar brush, nice one. I picked up a few years back. I think it was shaving with Jeffrey Smith was the one that suggested that, because he has one and he was using his out of a mug. So it's like, hey, that looks like a good one, and he said, get it. So I got it. So it should work pretty decent. I've used it before for the sole purpose. The whole reason I got it was so I could use my grandfather's mug, because I tried using the short-handled ones before and it just doesn't work. So you got this nice what do you call it? Handle, and it's deep, so it gets the job done. Ouch. Pokey. I've been soaking the brush for a while. I put it filled the sink up with water and just let it sit there for a while. A little more water this brush here, see if we can get this a little more lather out of it. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I like the Williams. I thought about, since I have a couple of these, is to shave it down with a grater and then put it into a different container, because I got some these things. So grate it down, put it in a thing like that and make it easier, but seems to get the job done. So, how's your day going? Just to let you know, there's an affiliate link down below. From the Razor Company. So if you want something from the Razor Company, go ahead and click on the affiliate link. And I find the best way to do it is sign into your account and then hit the affiliate link. It seems to work, I guess, that way. But I do get individuals every once in a while that use it, and the money I get from that goes towards giveaways. Like the last one I did in January, February timeframe, a couple weeks ago. Now, my grandfather, he was born in 1910. First generation American. Born here in Iowa. His dad, my great-grandfather, was born right there, depending on that time period, it was either Denmark or Germany. It's like right there in that area, Holsting-Schleswig area, right there in the southern border of Denmark. And he came over in late 1870s on a ship. But I think it was right after the Franco-Prussian War. And met somebody and started having children. And my grandfather, he was towards the end of the litter. Literally litter. It was like, I think there was 13 kids in that, 11 or 13, something like that, in the family. So my dad, he starts rattling off names. So that's your uncle, your great uncle, your great aunt, etc. He's like, okay. And then I got a lot of, it's like people ask me, is that not a very common name, my last name? And so you end up with a lot of people asking, like, is that somebody related to it? It's probably a cousin, because, come from a large family that's had a lot of kids. And my dad, he comes from a large family too. He has 1, 2, 3 other brothers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sisters. And still have one uncle left. All the other ones died in their 60s from heart attacks, which, been around in the family. I've had several cousins already pass away. Just had one not too recently, a week ago, pass away of a heart attack in his 60s. So it seems to be the thing. It's like, if you're gonna die, you die in your 60s from a heart attack. I had one cousin, he passed away with a heart attack doing a stress test. Yeah, we're going to do a stress test on you, see how your heart is. And he's doing the stress test on the treadmill, and he died. Had a massive coronary right there. My grandfather, he had a coronary and passed away. But he made it to 79. My grandmother, she was 71 when she passed away. From a heart attack. We share the same birthday. I always remember my grandfather. We would go to stay with him in the summertime, because we were living in Minnesota and they still lived in Iowa. And would they'd drop us off, like, we'd come down and visit Grandma and Grandpa, and drop us and my brother Al and I, older brother. So we'd spend a week or two with them in the summer, and then my grandparents, my grandfather had a travel trailer they towed behind his vehicle, and after a couple of weeks, they would throw us all in the vehicle, and we'd all they'd drive back up to Minnesota, northern Minnesota, and spend a week or so in the trailer and then head back home. They'd camp on the property. After my grandmother passed away, my grandfather would spend a lot. He sold the home, his house with, they shared with my grandmother, and he would go stay with each of his kids, take the trailer and just stay, live in it, especially in the summertime. Wintertime, if he came up to visit us, he'd just drive the car and then stay in the house. In the fall and stuff, he would stay with us until it got too cold, and he would move into it's like, too cold, coming in. But the funny thing is that they spoke fluent German. And my grandmother and grandfather would sit there and have conversations. They'd be just talking away in German. And so I did learn, back when I was a kid, I learned a lot of German. I don't know how to read it. A lot of stuff that somebody would be saying, I was like, okay, I've heard of that. And I'd have to sit there and think about what was being said in Norse. And I could pick it up, but then he would sit there and use the razor, and he has this other one. Where's it at? It's that here. Where did I put it? I think it's up over there. I moved things around a little while ago. Yeah, two different razors. This one and the other Star razor, which is a gem single blade that he used. I see this one because he traveled a lot, and this was kind of like his travel razor. And except he'd only shaved every couple days. It wasn't a daily shaver, which I find a lot of guys do. They only shave when they have to. It's like every 2-3 days, which I can't do. I shave every day. There's no skipping it for me. And a lot of guys consider it's like, they'll do two passes and call it a shave, and no. Two passes is a no shave. It's like you might as well not shave at all. I don't feel like you get any benefit, but is here now my neck, because it swirls, 2 passes is pretty smooth, but from above my jawline, it's like it doesn't do much. But you'd sit there and he'd be in the bathroom shaving away, and he's sitting on the edge of the tub or something, or on the toilet on the seat there, and chatting away with him while he's shaving. And he tells the stories about his youth, growing up in rural Iowa on the farm without running water or electricity. It was like my dad. He grew up without electricity and running water. Yeah, now house you had to go out to if you had to use anything, no matter what the weather was. And I think he said it was at like 52 or 53 before they had their first electricity. They made it to the farm. He said it had big battery bank, like that they would charge up. Like car batteries. that they would hook up for their radio. You know, the big, that was the thing. That was your entertainment. It was you either read a book, newspaper if you got that, or listen to radio. Which, you know, I grew up listening to the radio as a kid too. It was still back when I was in the 60s and 70s. A lot of that old style radio broadcasts were still being broadcast. I remember always enjoyed staying up and listening to, like the Shadow. The Shadow knows. And they had all kinds of other shows I would listen to every night. And they're like, you gotta go to sleep now, turn off your radio. And my other grandfather and grandmother gave me a radio. That's how much I like to listen to radio. I still do. To this day, first thing I get up, walk into the kitchen and turn on my radio. I got a Grundig, big old console radio. It sits on my kitchen table. I'm kind of like learned it from my other grandfather with that same thing. He'd get up in the morning, sit at the kitchen table, turn on his radio, listen to the morning show about what's going on with the weather and fishing, and that's what I learned and still do it. Guess I'm a fossil. Oh, how the heck did I miss that? So now, it's using this razor just bring back memories of my grandfather's. And one thing about using constantly every day, you reduce your skin tag here. You just keep shaving the top off of it. One of these days, I'll when I use more of an aggressive razor, I catch it and just slice the whole thing completely off. Right. Yeah. All right. We're done. All right. Time for some Old Spice. He was, my grandfather, he was either a Barbasol Old Spice guy. Depends what. He's kind of like, I don't remember him using anything else but those two. I think Barbasol was probably his favorite. I think that's the one he used the most of. Every once in a while he'd grab. It's like my dad would have his Old Spice in the cabinet, and he'd open up. It's like he'd put the Old Spice or Barbasol off to the side and reach into the cabinet and grab my dad's Old Spice and slather that on too. So ready to go. And then the cabinet, when you open it up, had that little slot in the back. So when he was finished up whatever using that razor and didn't want to use it anymore, he just like throw it in the back. I did the same thing with ours when I got older and started shaving. It's like, just throw it. It's up. That razor blade done. Just once a week, put a new blade, toss the other one into the back. So I imagine if you always get these stories where individuals were, I was tearing apart the remodeling the bathroom, and all of a sudden, a whole bunch of razor blades just came falling. Who would do such a thing? It's like, that's what we did. That's how you got rid of your blades. You threw them in the back behind the house, in the wall. All right. So that shave of the day, everybody, was brought to you by Williams. It was my grandfather's favorite soap. And we had Gillette Wilkinson sword blades with the Star Razor. Well, there you go. That was the shave of the day. All right. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Rusty out.